Hello and welcome back to my RC channel. I'm AndyRC and today I'm going to be checking out the HDLRC Sector132 Vista edition. This is a 2.5 inch brushless micro or a 3 inch micro if you remove the protectors. Its dry weight is 158 grams and with the recommended 650 mAh 4S LiPo, its all up weight is 240 grams. I think this one is mostly aimed at beginners because it's a little bit big to fly indoors, so the protectors are there just to stop you damaging people or property. The frame is a squished X freestyle configuration, meaning that the props and protectors are out of the way of the DJI camera. Something standing out to me right away are these thin anodized standoffs and the TPU mounts holding the camera in place. Now DJI cameras are pretty forgiving when it comes to vibrations and jello, but the camera is hanging in the air on these mounts and I have a feeling that they are going to cause some trouble, especially as the bottom plate is a unibody. You're given an anti-slip mat, but the battery straps they provide are too long for the recommended battery size, so I've borrowed a smaller one from another HDLRC model. The motors are HDLRC branded 1106 3800 kV and the props are the Gemfan 2540s. And these motors are a common size for 2.5 inch props, but the 3 inch props they provide are the HQ 3030s, which are a light pitch prop usually used for lighter 3 inch models, but 240 grams is pretty heavy for a 3 inch model, so regardless of the prop, I don't think this one is going to be too powerful. It's a pain to remove the protectors as well. I don't know why companies don't design a clip-on system for the protectors, because you're looking at around 30 minutes to undo all of the motor screws to take them off. Then you have to use the provided shorter screws so that they don't hit the back of the motors and short out. The all-in-one board is HDLRC's own Zeus 35, which consists of 35 amp BL Heli S ESCs and an F4 flight controller, but it pretty much needs a full setup in Betaflight. They're even using stock PIDs and rates, which haven't fared well on 3 inch models in the past, so you will have to be really accustomed to Betaflight to get this one going. The on-screen display is set up for the analog version as well, so I had to turn that off. The Vista comes completely stock, which is fairly standard on these HD bind and fly models, so you'll have to activate it and update it yourself. This is the FrSky bind and fly version of the Sector132, which comes with a pre-installed XM Plus and antenna straws, but it's available with a range of different receivers, which you can check out from the link in the video description. They do give you a GoPro mount, and I've seen people use a GoPro with this model, but I wouldn't recommend it. A Hero 8 is double the weight of the dry weight of the model, and these tiny motors will be doing overtime to keep it in the air. I'd expect really poor flight times as well. Okay, let's go for a line of sight flight with this guy, just to hear what it sounds like and if there are any potential tuning problems. It doesn't have bags of power. I would say sort of intermediate levels of power. I think I'm hearing a slight hesitation at the top of the throttle. I'll try that again. Just a tad. Could be the drag from the protectors. Well, it feels okay. Does acro nice. Let's give it a bit of power. Yeah, it's not bad on the power. Obviously no 5 inch. It's nice. Oh yeah, very maneuverable. Not too powerful for this field. Not too loud either. Yeah, predictable. To see what the camera's like though. Just held on with that TPU. I don't think it's going to come out very well. It's a lot of fun line of sight though. Flows nicely. Don't think the protectors are causing any problems when it comes to flight characteristics. It's something that protectors do sometimes, but if there's enough power to power out of it, like there is with this one, then you don't see the effect so much. Let's flick it into angle mode, see if there's any drift other than the wind. So that's hands off, and change the yaw, that's just drifting with the wind. So that's good, no drift in angle mode. Not really one for indoors this though, unless you've got a really big indoor space. Recovers nicely from the acro. I have to give it a bit more throttle. Let's see if we got that hesitation again. Not that time. A bit of a wobble on the descent. I expect that with protectors. Yeah. So far so good on the line of sight. So let's take a look at some DVR footage, and just as I suspected, there's a lot of jello feeding through to the camera, even on an overcast day. I did push the mounts further down the standoffs so that the base of the camera rests on the bottom of the frame to give more support, which did help, but the jello was still there. So for me, this is something that needs to be fixed because it degrades the HD FPV experience, and the way they have designed the frame means that you could only try designing or printing off a different camera mount that gives better support, because there's no room for side plates or anything like that. As for the flight performance, it was okay. There's not a huge amount of power and there's some sort of hesitation on full throttle, which I think is being caused by the drag of the protectors. I wanted to see how the model performed with the 3-inch props, but until I can find a decent way to sort the camera out, I'm not sure I could say it's worth the time. There wasn't any yaw washout caused by the protectors, but the tune feels like it needs some tweaking, which is hardly surprising with them using stock Betaflight PIDs on a 3-inch model. But on the plus side, the flight time is really good at around 4 to 5 minutes, and it's not heavy on the current draw either, so it's easy on your batteries, and it's a nice view out of the camera with the props and protectors out of shot. But unless there's an easy fix for the camera jello, then I'd recommend looking elsewhere unless it doesn't bother you, in which case I'll add a link in the video description as well as a pinned comment if you wish to buy one. And I'll leave you with some flying, so as always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.
Used to be so simple. Haven't got a clue as to why the world is filled with lies. But then again, we're sinful. that's the thing that you're doing. You better watch what you keep from us before it's too late to go.